God bless you.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. How y'all doing, family?
Y'all all right? Can't hear nothing. Does anybody say anything? Bless your hearts. How y'all feeling tonight? I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great week. Hope it wasn't too hot for you. It was hot out there. It's hot.
Yeah, it was. I was inside though. I couldn't even.
Yeah, I was only out for a moment.
How y'all doing? So we have.
Good evening, Sister Mary.
We went down. Good evening, Sister Mary. Went down from 3 to 1.
Real quick too.
Sister Mary, this is gonna be us tonight.
Yeah. So what's going on? Family.
Sister Mary, that was really some good information you gave us. Maybe it was last month about Charlottesville and how Charlottesville, Virginia was named after Charlotte, the princess, the black lady. I was really I had no idea about that. So when I started watching, what's that movie on the Bridgerton, I think that's what it's called. They had the Princess Charlotte on there, so it was.
Cool.
I started watching that with that piece of information, and I was excited about it. So thank you for sharing that with us some time ago.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Sister Mary always come up with good information. Hey, Dr. Stevenson, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Stevens, so she sent me something. I told her she could switch with me if she wanted to.
Say
I
what?
told her she could take over tomorrow if she wanted to.
Nah, that's a blessing. Tomorrow, First Lady is gonna bring the word for us. I'm enjoying another week off.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do what thus
Yeah,
saith the Lord. Gonna
she gonna
try.
preach, and I know she gonna bring a powerful word. So make sure if you can't be there in person, make sure you listen up on Facebook or YouTube.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So there's a lot to talk about tonight. A whole lot going on. Um, it seems like every week there's never a slow week. There's never a week where you can say, well, nothing really happened this week.
Yeah,
It was
the
boring.
news cycle
Yeah.
continues.
Yeah. So things were off the chain. So um, first thing, let's talk about uh, while we have people coming in is this couple right here. Let's put them on the screen. Good looking couple, right?
I'll say
Yeah, Kiki Palmer and um
Darian.
yeah, Darius. His last name is
Darius.
Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah. And so if you don't know, they were in a dust. Hey, Aunt Hattie, how you doing? They had a little dust up, and so you want to tell the story first,
They
lady?
didn't have a. It wasn't okay.
They had
So
a Twitter battle.
I'm sure that maybe if you are in tune to social media, you may have heard. So she went to, first of all, she just had a baby about, I think they said 9 months ago. So she's getting, back into shape and she looks great. And so she went to Usher's concert where he has a residency in Las Vegas, which I have to go to. I've definitely got to go before he. Make a long story short, Usher serenaded her. Someone posted it and saw it and shared it with with social media. And her son's father, Darius, his name is Darius, saw the video, and instead of saying anything positive, he says, "It's it's the dress for me. You're a mom." And so everybody, pretty much went up in arms saying how he body shamed her, he shamed her, and whatever his issues were, they should have been dealt with behind the scenes, and he shouldn't have brought them to the forefront. And so he then, after he gets all that backlash, he comes out with another tweet on Twitter and says, we live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother to his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others. And he gets told how much of a hater he is. He goes on to say, this is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. But he didn't realize that Twitter, those tweeters, were going to do some research. And so they came across a picture of him half dressed. Well, he was only had his undergarments on, just his underwear, and sitting on the bed, and took a picture of himself. So it's like, oh, so it's good for you, but it's not good for her. So people are really thinking that he was just jealous that she was serenaded by Usher. So our question is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I felt like the outfit she had on was a little risque. I definitely wouldn't wear it. But it was like a sheer see-through dress that left a little to your imagination.
Right.
But that's just what they're doing these days.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the dress, right?
But you can't see the back of
right. I did. There were pictures of it, but I chose not to share those.
Right.
Because the back of the dress was sheer like the front, but all the way sheer. Not,
like it's like I don't even think she had any underwear. Did it look like she had underwear?
I couldn't really tell, but maybe a thong or something. She
right.
Had,
she may have had. So he said he was not pleased with her choice of wardrobe, but people are coming to her defense saying you're shaming her. What are y'all thoughts? I think personally, he probably should have not did that publicly.
Yeah, he should have. He probably should have. Spoke to her, and if listen, if you're in a relationship where you're exclusive and you all are you trust your wife and
they're not even married, first of all.
Right. Okay. So I don't know their relationship. I don't know how strong it is or how weak it is, or if he's an insecure kind of guy or whatever. But I don't know her, her career like that. But from what I've seen, she's pretty respectable. She's not always dressed like that. And I did look for some other pictures to see if that was a pattern of hers, and it's not. And I think it was her birthday, right? And so
that's I don't know. I don't know if it was what the celebration was, but I don't know. Maybe she was just feeling herself because she just had a baby and she's got snatched back like that. She looks great.
But if you feel that way and you're in a relationship, you talk to your wife. You don't, or your lady or whatever. You don't tweet it so everybody knows. Because that just makes you look like like you are insecure, and like you do have an issue, and it is shaming. Now, if apparently wherever she was, he must not have been there.
No, she looks like she was just with a bunch of girlfriends.
So God bless you, Sister Francis.
Hey, Sister Francis. Oh, he should have talked to her alone, right?
Yeah.
Because now he invited the whole world, or those who are involved,
the whole Twitter world,
into their relationship,
right?
And they're ruthless. They can say whatever they want to say because they know there's no consequences to, pretty much.
Right.
And now he's going to take all of that. I'm just imagining. Yep. He's going to take all of what was said to him, the negativity, and bring it back to her.
Right.
And he's going to say, which, I don't know if he will or not, but I'm just imagining he may say, if you wouldn't have wore that dress, then none of this would happen, instead of taking ownership and saying, I probably should have not said that, publicly.
Yeah. And there's, I don't know how old or young this guy is, but you think that if you're a mature adult and you see something like that and you're disappointed, the first thing you do is talk to her about it, not publicize it, so that you open up, the opportunity for everybody to comment on your situation and your circumstance. And that's crazy.
You're right. And you had alluded to the fact that you looked at her pattern to see if that was something she'd done in the past. And it wasn't anything that she's done in the past. So to me, it kind of makes me feel like there must have been, some kind of a disagreement. Like she might be trying to get him back for something, you know, like he might have done or said something. And that was because she's never dressed like that before. So I'm trying to figure out where did that come from out of the blue?
Yeah, because wasn't she like a child star?
Yeah, she's a child star. Yeah. And you know, like, was that like her payback, like trying to get a jab in at him?
Or she might have, like you said, she might have just been proud of her body after having a baby.
Yeah, but you could wear a lot of things that cover you up that
right.
still
don't have to be see-through.
It doesn't have to be transparent, like see-through outfits. It doesn't have to be that, because that like is just that I feel him on that, but he should have discussed it at home.
Right. Sister Mary said they showed it all their body and leave nothing to them.
Exactly. Have you seen the dress that Gabrielle Union wore? I mean, it just covered her bare, like it was two pieces, and it just covered her bare. And I'm like, why do they feel like they have to do that?
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that.
And I mean, is it you want more attention? I just don't get it.
In my opinion, there's attire that should not be worn outside of the bedroom.
Right, and that looked like what she had on, Kiki, and what Gabrielle Union had on looked like it should have been worn in the bedroom for their significant other's eyes only.
Right. Now, on the other hand, and to each his own, right? Because if your man say, "Oh, baby, that look good. Wear that tonight when we go, you know, wherever." No,
because personally, I don't think you would want me to wear anything that's so revealing and so outlandish.
Don't make me cuss on this show
like
here.
That. You would not want me to wear anything like that out this house for, you know, others to leave no imagination. No, I wouldn't want to disrespect. For me, I think it's a little disrespectful. I mean, I even like, I remember when we were in Texas and your grandmother was there and I had an outfit and I was like, do you think this, you know, your grandmother would think this is too much? You know, you kind of have to, you know, have people in your life that's going to tell you the truth about, you know, your appearance. And if, you know, you respect them, you'll do what they suggest. But I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I agree because here's the thing, right? You can disagree with your partner on a number of issues, but the wrong thing to do is make it a public disagreement.
Exactly. What happens in the home should stay in the home. You know, that saying, not as long as it's not something that is abusive and things of that nature, but you know, you're not really supposed to bring the issue like he did to the world.
Yeah. And my cousin James is watching. Hey James, the house Texas. I know it's hot down there, brother. I know you burning up in Texas.
Mary said, I agree. It should not have been privately talked. It should have been privately talked about. Today they show all the body and leave nothing. Sometimes men just want something to get angry about. I think, you know what? I think you're right on about that because from what I understand, he obviously she makes more than him. But then he says that, you know, that's his family. He needs to be respected. You know, he has standards and morals, but she's taking care of you. So
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This is what I like. I feel like he may have been more upset about the way. Did you see the video?
Which one?
Of Kiki of Usher singing to her.
Yeah, serenading her.
She was melting. She was like, you know, like, you know, she was really enjoying that serenade. It may not have been at all about what she was wearing, but how the attention she was giving Usher and how, you know, she was reacting with him. I know, and let me show you all the video, right? Let me show you all the video.
Shalonda, I understand that you are a big fan. Happy Mother's Day to you. I wanted to reach out. You have a very special person in your life. His name is...
That's enough of that. All right. Anyway.
Was that the video you wanted to show?
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to show. Because if I know that's your guy, you know, that your actor
that's
crush.
My favorite actor crush. Yeah, that's the... What do they call it? Wednesday crush, something like that. But yeah, I
would not be happy if you was up there grinding on stage with him somewhere.
I would never do that.
Okay, so that's probably where all of that, came from.
He's not a singer, first of all.
So what if he was up there talking to you? He should.
But no, you just have to have some respect for yourself.
Right.
Mine too. That's your Morris Chestnut, right? She was doing too much. Yeah,
yep.
she was doing too much.
Yep.
She
She was all in on that. And that's the thing when, I don't have a problem with, obviously there are going to be men that you're going to be attracted to, and women I'm going to be attracted to, but you don't disrespect each other by, doing too much, by, grinding on them and whatnot. That's over the line.
Right.
Yeah. My opinion's over the line.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Doing too much. Yes, that's right. The generation tells everything on social media. And I think you have another great point, Sister Mary. This generation, because I think it's what people think, they might think the whole world is thinking about it and they just share it and blurt it out. And they just feel like maybe the internet is a safe place. And really, it's not. It's really not a safe place. Yep. I mean, unless you're going to, you have to know your limit.
Both of them, Sister Mary Ann, Dr. Stephen said, know your limit.
Yeah, know your limit. Yeah. I mean, it's not, to me, I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing inspirational quotes, encouraging quotes, things of that nature. Some family pictures, some vacation. Yeah. But just to start telling your business and no, what I don't like? I don't like for people to force their beliefs on the kids who are impressionable. Yeah. Like you have so many like things that are being said that these kids don't know how to filter it. And so they'll just consume it as if it's true and then act upon it. I mean, there were times when we had to correct our kids, like, where'd you get that from? No. And you have to sit them down and tell them right from wrong.
Yeah. The other thing, too, speaking of social media, it is a very, very powerful weapon. And I think we can segue from what we're talking about now to what happened this week with President Obama. So I don't know if you know this because it really hasn't been publicized very much, but the former president, number 45, sent out on his social media platform what he believed to be President Obama's address. Put it on like in a tweet, but it's called Truth Social. He put his address out there. Now, as many people have this much intelligence and this much crazy saw that, millions of people that are on that platform. And so one of them went to President Obama's house, or at least in the area, and he was live streaming what he was going to do. He had, thank God the Capitol Police, President Obama currently lives in DC. The Capitol Police came and caught him before he could do anything. I'm sure there was Secret Service there, whatever. But he had guns and thousands of rounds of ammunition. Like, I don't know what he thought he was going to do.
Thought he was going to kill President
I'm
Obama.
Saying, obviously, crazy. But he had way more grenades, all kind of stuff that, that he thought that he was going to, be able to react and commit a crime because Donald Trump put this guy's put President Obama's information out there for everybody to see. Now it's been taken down, and the FBI won't, obviously they're not telling what his address is, but they're investigating it. But I'm really surprised that there's not more media coverage on this guy. And this is, let me show you a picture of this guy. This is the guy. He was at January 6th. He was at the I think this is a picture of him there in the halls of the Capitol. And so he's doing a YouTube live saying what he's going to do to Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, the family, and John Podesta, who was the campaign manager of Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Unacceptable, unbelievable. This man, along with Trump, should be locked up.
Absolutely.
Should be locked up.
They call it doxing when you give somebody's address.
Yeah, he should be put under the jail for
Yeah.
that. Absolutely. No way in the world, if Obama did something like that, would he be out?
Right.
Because that's another thing. He put it out there, and he knows he has people out there that's going to hang on to every
Yep.
single word he says and take that as a message. Say, oh, let's go and do something to the Obamas. That's so.
Yep.
That is messed up.
Right. And it I'm really surprised though that it's not a bigger story than it is. And what the FBI
Why are you surprised?
because that kind of thing should be all over the news.
Yeah, but
It's a former president who they caught a guy who had the intention of assassinating him.
I get why you're thinking that it should be, but do you understand why it's not?
Well, I yeah, but
I agree with you. It should be, but it's not because of who they are
yeah, well,
or who Obama is.
yeah. I mean, I get that, but I don't get
It's
that.
not right. Exactly. You know why? That's
Yeah.
right.
And I'm really upset about that, because what if they hadn't taken it seriously? What if the Capitol Police, somebody alerted them? I think it was the guy's wife alerted them that he was coming to do that.
So is he locked up?
He's locked up.
He's locked up. Okay.
And they're currently considering not letting him out before he actually gets his trial and everything. So,
But see, so what is he gonna say? Well, Trump, put it out there. So I just followed the orders of our forever president. That's what he's probably gonna say. I mean, he can't get. Trump should be locked up too. He should be locked up for that.
yeah, but the problem is I don't know for sure if there's a law that says you can't put somebody's address on on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a law against that.
Mm-hmm.
So Sister Mary said the orange man is jealous of President Obama. Absolutely.
Yep.
And then he did in life, period. Yeah, that's right. He hates him.
Yep.
And the fact of the matter is, even though I know President Obama does not care for Donald Trump either, but President Obama had the class and the dignity to be there for his inauguration, do what he was supposed to do as president, and pass on the peaceful power,
Transition of power.
right, peaceful transition of power, no riots or anything crazy like that. And Donald Trump did not have the dignity to even be at President Biden's inauguration.
Jerk. He doesn't have any dignity. He's not 1 ounce of dignity. Not 1 ounce.
Yeah.
So you can't even expect that from him.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing, the difference between, and people say, oh, both sides are corrupt, both sides. No, it's not really like that, because what you have is people on one side who are absolutely nuts and willing to be violent over what they, I've never heard of nobody ever pressed right.
Posted a president address. Nobody ever did that. And so that should be precedence for them to do something to avoid that from ever happening again. they need to lock him up.
If there is no law, there should be a law.
There should be. There should be precedent set that you cannot do that kind of thing. You can't.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they did the same thing to Hillary too earlier, but it wasn't President Trump, but somebody else.
That's
did
just
Hillary
like
too.
people are crazy. People are absolutely lost their minds.
And them crazy governors in Texas and Florida sending migrants to Kamala Harris's house, sending them to. So it's not the same. It's not the same on both sides. Yeah, there's corruption on both sides, but there's not the kind of violent reaction on both sides.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Speaking of violence, and there was a terrible fire on the port this week. And unfortunately, we lost 2 of Newark's bravest firefighters, and 5 others, I believe, were injured as a result of this fire that was on the port. And our hearts and thoughts and our prayers go out to them, their families, their co-workers, and everybody else that have been impacted by these 2 men. I just, when I saw it, my heart just immediately wept for his family. I didn't know him personally. I don't know them personally, but my heart just wept for them. And I then did more research, like what kind of fire, like what was it? And I found out that it was product. It was cars. It was trucks. And I'm thinking, why are we going to battle a fire to save material things? I'm thinking that it's like saving people. And I could be wrong, but my thing is, if these people, these car dealers, these people who own these cars, they have insurance on that kind of thing. Why are we sending our firefighters to go in and to save property that don't have any people, any human life?
You're saying there was no threat of lives being lost.
Yes, if there's no threat of lives being lost, and they have insurance on this property, why did they have to go in there and try to battle this blaze?
So what happened, to my knowledge, is that because it was a European ship, and the ships they're all equipped with 2.5 inch or big ports where the firemen can just hook their hoses up right in the ship and fight the fire like that. But because it was European, it didn't match the ones that are here. So when the guys, the Newark firefighters try to connect, they couldn't. So they had to use an adapter or something, and that caused a delay, and the water pressure wasn't good. So, but I understand what you're saying. Like, why are we allowing people to risk their lives when it comes to protecting property? But when you think about it, this world is all about money, and these people, that's their job, to stop the fire, because the next thing, is that fire going to spread? What's next? Is there something on that ship that could cause an explosion, and then people, who are, maybe in another ship somewhere or whatever, they could possibly lose their lives. So I don't think that those guys were doing anything out of the ordinary, but I think it was just that circumstance, because it was a European ship and they didn't have the proper connections. That's why it took them longer to put the fire out. If I'm not mistaken, that fire burned for a couple of days.
So wait, I'm just to understand you. So they're saying this is a European ship,
right?
They have adapters and connectors within the ship with hoses that they could quench, the fire, like quench the fire, like put the fire out. But the water pressure wasn't strong enough.
Right. The water pressure and the amount of water was not what these guys were used to.
I just think it's so unfortunate.
So we have like huge, like this big, for fire. It's a huge opening and holes, and it might have been maybe this big for them. So that's a lot less water, a lot less pressure, and it's not as easy. It's not going to put the fire out as quickly. But we all should just be praying for those families. I'm sure they thought that their husband, their father, their brother, their son would be back.
I know
That
no one ever leaves home thinking they're not coming back.
Right.
No one, no, I don't think. I mean, but when you step foot out the door, there's always a risk of that happening. But I'm certain that wasn't something they thought they would ever have to face. Now he has two. Well, I know the black guy has two daughters. He's married, and I just my heart just goes out to him, to the family, and to it's just unfortunate. I mean, I understand that is a line of duty that they know the risk. They know what the possibility of that one day they could go into that situation. But in this case, I just wish that they would have taken their value of life versus cars. And I know everything make money. Everything is about money.
It is.
But I'm sure then those families should be set for the rest of their lives. I know.
Well,
I'm not even gonna say.
Well, in any case, again, our hearts go out to those families. Our prayers go to those who survived that, and those that are in the hospitals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when you take on that job, there's risk.
Mm-hmm.
There's risk.
Yeah.
That's why they call them the bravest,
Mm-hmm.
and the police, they call them the finest. But I think they need to change that.
The finest. Oh, so there's this. I'm one of those who, if I'm find myself having some downtime, I will scroll through Facebook and I'll look at some things. So there.
Oh, wait a minute! Before you do that, let's ask a question, right? Let's ask a question. I'm gonna show you some pictures, right? And after I show you these pictures, I want you, those of you who are viewing right now, I want you to tell us what these people all have in common. All right. First guy.
He looks like Marvin Gaye, but that's John Legend.
That's John Legend. All right. This guy.
That's Marvin Gaye.
That's Marvin Gaye. What about this young lady?
Aretha Franklin.
Riri's
what they call it. Whitney
Houston. All right. And there are others that we can name. Patti LaBelle, Luther Vandross. What do they all have in common? Let's see if anybody can get that. What do they all have in common?
They can sing.
Besides the fact that they can sing.
Yeah.
Maybe we say singers, yeah. But besides that, they all have something in common. And we're kind of going to talk about that if we get the right answer, or even if not, we'll tell you what our thoughts are. Singers.
Well, I kind of know.
I
know
you
we're gonna go into, but
definitely
are singers, and they sound very good.
Great singers, but I'm talking about their backgrounds. They all have something in common.
Similar, yeah. What do they have in common in their backgrounds?
From Newark, Whitney is from
Whitney
Newark.
is from Newark.
Now Marvin is not from Newark.
He's from Detroit.
Detroit or something, I think. Yeah.
And Riri is from Michigan. Where's she from?
Aretha?
Yeah. She's not from Newark, right?
Cleveland? Was it Cleveland?
I'm not sure. Yeah. Church. Good job.
Yeah,
good job.
It. Yep. That's right.
Yep. They
Sister
were.
Mary got it. They all came up in the church.
Mm-hmm.
They all came up in the church.
So our question is, why do you think the gospel singers, those who started off in the church, go to secular music, start going to R&B and that nature? I think the easy answer is because it's more money.
Sister Mary said Tennessee. Is that
Oh, okay.
that's where Aretha's from?
That might be where she's from.
Mhm.
I think because it's money and more popularity. More.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's definitely the money. I think that you have some who still connect to
Mhm.
their gospel roots by still singing gospel songs, like Aretha did gospel albums.
Mhm.
Um, but it's just not as lucrative to be a gospel singer as it is to be a a pop artist or R&B singer. It's just more money. And even though I think there are some gospel artists who are very very financially, they make a lot of money. Kirk Franklin makes a lot of money.
Yeah, he's crossed over too.
Yeah.
Well, you have I think CC Winans, like the Winans, she makes. I think they make pretty good.
Yeah.
Yolanda Adams, I think she does.
Yolanda
Right?
Adams, she's doing movies. I mean, not movies,
Erica,
but series and everything. Yeah.
Erica and
Mary,
Tina,
Mary.
yeah, Mary.
Yeah.
But I think you know the gospel artists, if they're true to their craft, God will bring them that increase, right? I mean, if they want to be that popular,
Yep. She's right too.
yep. Nowadays they take R&B songs and make gospel music, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
They
because
do.
I'm
They
hearing because
sample.
sometimes,
Yeah.
because sometimes I don't like that's a lot of what Kirk Franklin has done.
Mhm.
That's what the Sunday service choir has done.
Yep.
And it's funny because I was watching SWV, the Sisters of Voices
Mhm.
and Escape.
Mhm.
They had like a little documentary, like maybe like an 8 episode documentary,
Mhm.
and one of the singers from SWV, their mother was so strict, like there should be you're not listening to R&B music, you're not listening to any rap, any of that stuff, you're not singing it, nothing. So she went and she did it behind her back. She went on and signed the contract, she did all these things, and she was so mad at her daughter until her daughter bought her a very nice car, and then all of that changed. So then you wonder, like, how true are you?
Say, don't you ever do that again. Oh, wait a minute. What? That a Mercedes? You go ahead, baby, and
You
do what you
sing
gotta
your
do.
heart out. People, it's just, and I wonder how God feels about that.
But Whitney grew up in East Orange, and she went to New Hope in Newark, sang in their choir, and somehow she got discovered. I'm not really sure how it happened.
Oh, there's a movie out about that.
Yeah,
too.
I'm sure there is. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah,
but
how she got discovered. She went to a club.
Mhm.
Clive Davis was there.
But
and
she just has she had a fantastic, unbelievable voice with great range, super control, and I'm sure Dionne Warwick helped her out too, because Dionne Warwick is her aunt. And her mother was the choir director.
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye.
And she was singing background music too for different R&B artists.
Yeah. What's her name?
Was like Luther?
Sissy,
right? I thought it was...
Oh, nah, not for Luther, but she's a little older. So yeah. But Luther was in the church first. Patti LaBelle. Marvin Gaye's father was a pastor. Yeah. He was in the church, and so
well, we all know what happened there.
Well, yeah, these people get their background, and they get to exercise their gift in church, and then they take it to I guess the world, and then they get paid. And actually I don't really have a problem with that, as long as they stay grounded in the Lord. As long as they still believe, and if they she was a background singer for Luther. Yeah. My bad. Yeah. So as long as they continue to give God the glory, and I love it when I very rarely watch award shows, but I love it when they, when they give God the glory
Yeah.
for
When
what
you
they,
catch it
yeah,
at the
yeah,
occasion.
yeah,
Yeah, I like
yeah,
that too. When they give God the glory.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is truly a gift from God. Because I've seen people that could sing circles around some of the most famous people in the world, and these famous artists, and they, they sing it in church somewhere,
Hmm.
or they, they're not popular where they're making any money off of it. They're just doing it for the glory of God.
Yeah.
And it
I
just
wonder how
depends
that.
on if you get the break or not.
Yeah, because I wonder if you know, because we have some really great singers in the in the church,
Mhm.
and I wonder if at any time did they feel like I want to be better. I want to go out and or are they content with just using their voice for the Lord? People that we know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And do they feel like, oh, I'll never get to that point or
You really have to be fortunate to actually make it. Like, obviously, talent goes a long way, but you have to be exposed to the right people at the right time,
yeah.
and somebody has to say, yeah, I'm willing to invest time and money into this individual to promote them and try to make them
Yeah, because it takes
famous.
a lot. And I hear the music industry, that industry is rough. Yeah, that's right. We have people in church now still sit in places in church. Right,
Hmm. Yeah.
we do. And it's tough though. The music industry, like that kind of, unless you have a family that keeps you grounded,
Hmm.
I hear it's really brutal,
Hmm.
very brutal, and cutthroat. I don't think I would want our kids to get involved in that kind of thing. I know I wouldn't for
Well,
just
with the
for
right guidance, they can be okay.
yeah.
But it is a cutthroat. Gordon went through that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and man, they they are cutthroat, and a lot of things that people don't know. A lot of the most popular songs out here, a lot of them was stolen. They
Yeah.
somebody came to them and said, "Hey," and they, nah, that's trash. And then the person leave, and then they change a little something with that song, and boom, it takes off, and they make millions off of it. And the person that actually wrote it gets nothing.
Yeah.
And
That's
that the other thing that people don't really know is that the actual performers of the song don't make as much money as the people who write
mhm.
and who produce, because there's such a thing as called publishing rights. And so if you have the publishing rights, like certain songs you see in movies, the person who has the publishing rights to that song, they get paid when that person, when, like, for example, what was that movie with the little boys where when they sang "Stand by Me," uh, that guy got paid because they used his song, and every time, that's what royalties are all about. And so having the publishing rights
Mhm.
is that's where the real money is.
So why isn't it that if the person who like is that what Paul McCartney was really upset with Michael Jackson about because he had their catalog?
Right.
Is that the same as publishing?
It is. When
Mm-hmm.
you own the catalog, then that means you own the ability. Right. Look how much more money God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Made the
Right.
movie. Yeah.
From that song, "I'll Always Love You," right? Was that the name? That's the name of that song?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll always love
Yeah, and that was Dolly Parton's song, but nobody even paid attention when she sang it. Then Whitney Houston sang it, and Dolly Parton got rich over it.
you.
Well, she was already rich. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's about who gets the publishing rights, and who generally, it's the person who writes the music and produces the album.
Mm-hmm.
They maintain the publishing rights, and that's why you have some artists who are awesome and end up broke,
Yeah.
because either they're not writing their stuff, or they're writing it and they're giving somebody else the publishing rights.
So that's why isn't it as easy as just saying I'm the writer of the song or I'm singing the song, I want the publishing rights?
No, it doesn't work like that. If the it's just like whoever is the creator of um the artist is supposed to make the money, not the singer. I mean the artist that created the music, that created the song, and that person.
So what if the singer is the writer?
Then they if they, as long as they keep the publishing rights. Now there's been examples. I can't remember the name of the group now, but
Oh, okay, you have to write the song to get rights to it.
yeah, well, not really, because if your producer takes the publishing rights to your music, then even if you wrote it, you don't get the publishing rights. But
That's
because
so confusing.
because they can write your contract and say that's what Prince fell out with Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers owned his name and his catalog.
Was it Sony? Was it Sony?
I thought it was Warner Brothers.
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
which one it was.
So
But okay, so one of those companies.
yeah, so
owned his
so
name,
that's why
can-
he changed his name to a symbol,
Okay.
and then he was able to write music and produce it under that symbol, and then eventually he got enough money to buy his catalog.
Mhm.
So it's a tricky business, and that's why they say the music business is so cutthroat, because people that know the business
Mhm.
know these things. And I was trying to think, the guy Marley Marl, what group was he in? The rapper
Marley Marl.
Marley Marl. Marley Marl was it like the whatever, one of those rap groups, and it was like maybe 4 or 5 of them, and he said, when they were saying, "Oh, I want this much money, I want this much money," and because he knew the business,
Mhm.
he said, "Okay, y'all could get this, I'll take less, but I want the publishing rights."
Mhm.
They didn't know any better. Now, years and years later, he's still getting paid, and they broke.
Wow. He should have schooled them.
But that's not how it goes.
But that's not right though. I mean, because if you're all on the same team, like that's like you having information I don't know. And we start this group together and we're all in it together. And then you say, okay, go right ahead. That's sneaky. That to me is like conniving.
But that's what that's the reason why he got his rights and royalties. That's another thing. Great point. The reason why a lot of y'all know, y'all heard of Flip Wilson, right? Remember the Flip Wilson show when he's doing Geraldine? The reason why you don't see that in syndication, you don't see the Flip Wilson show like you see, Sanford and Son, the Jeffersons, and all of that, is because Flip Wilson owned that show.
Mhm.
And so the people that pay for syndication say, we ain't giving that black man that money. We're not giving him that syndication money. But he owned his show, produced the show, he owned the show. So he got paid when it was active. But now you don't see Flip Wilson. Flip Wilson's show was hilarious. He had all of the great comedy. He had Fred Sanford on there. He had Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby. He had all of those great black comedians. And now, he's passed away. But he was rich, but he didn't get it from his
Show.
he didn't get it from syndication, from those guys. Like Norman Lear is a multi-millionaire, because All in the Family, Good Times,
Mhm.
all of those Jeffersons, all of those shows that he created,
Yeah.
he gets the residual money for that.
Wow. So, speaking of which, has anybody heard anything about Jamie Foxx and how he's doing? Like, I know that he was hospitalized for a few, and then now they're saying that he's home recuperating, but they're like really tight-lipped about that. They're not like letting us know, like, they were asking for thoughts and prayers, like, please pray for Jamie, please pray for Jamie. And then there was these rumors that,
Mm-hmm.
he's doing really badly, continue the prayers. But then his daughter got on and said, "Oh, my father's doing fine. He just played a game of pickleball, And then somebody came on and was like, "Well, how come you didn't tell us all them prayers that we did were answered? You know, you're saying he's good. Why didn't you tell us you asking for prayers? How come you didn't come back on and say our prayers were answered?
Right.
But no one knows, how he's really doing. And they keep just saying he's not totally out of the woods yet. So I'm just interested in knowing, does anybody know?
So I heard this guy now, this, he's one of these gossip guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was talking to, I can't forget who he was interviewing or who he was speaking with. And Jamie Foxx, the subject of Jamie Foxx came up.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, there's a conspiracy theory out there that there's this guy who Jamie Foxx was in business with,
Mm-hmm.
who now is under investigation for money laundering and for Ponzi schemes.
Mm-hmm.
And that Jamie Foxx was in that investigation with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm.
And now this guy disappeared and they're looking for this guy, and he supposedly stole billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were, coincidentally, at the same time they were about to question Jamie Foxx, that's when he got sick. And now they're saying that he's probably all right. He just don't want to, face the music for that. Now, like I said, I don't know if that's true at all. But this guy claimed to have inside information. Who knows? He could have been just trying to make his podcast
Popular, right.
So you got to take all of that with a grain of salt.
Because there's so many rumors out there. You just don't know what the truth is.
But him and DiCaprio have kind of slid to the side, though. You don't see them, they kind of. So really? I don't know.
I really never really paid too much attention to DiCaprio.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I was watching the comedian Kevin Hart. He has a show called Heart to Heart.
Yeah, great show.
And he interviews people and just pretty much get the background of how they made it, how they get to the point where they are today. But he ended up interviewing Tyler Perry, and such great information Tyler Perry shared. If you get a chance to watch it, watch it. And it was so inspiring. He talked about how, people back in the day, like him going through, making all these plays, and his mother was like, no, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your time. Why don't you just go on down to the phone company, get you a job, they'll pay you $300 a week. Yeah. And he was like, but she thought she was trying to encourage me and telling me something good. He said, but what if I would have listened to that? Right. What if I would have just took her advice? I wouldn't have what I have today. Yeah. So he said, you just gotta sometimes let that fire that you have, and that God has something for you. Just go with it. Right. Go with what God is telling you.
He did say some awesome things. He said a couple of things that blew my mind. Like, one, he said that at the time when he was doing Medea's, all of those Medea's plays and stuff, he said people was bootlegging them like crazy. Mm-hmm. And he said he wasn't even mad at it. He said because of those bootlegs, that's how he got his big payday. Because of those bootlegs, when he went to a city, they knew about him. So they wanted to see him live. If it wasn't for those bootlegs, a whole lot of people would have never even known about him. Mm-hmm. So he said it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
He said it's a curse because I didn't get that money, but it's a blessing because I didn't get that money, but because people saw it, like Sister Francis said she was.
Yeah.
Because people saw it, I got more money because people were willing to come, and my shows were always sold out.
Right. He said he wanted his name on the marquee.
Yeah.
He said one day he was performing at this venue, and it had the artist who was going to be there on the next day.
Tom Jones.
He said, Tom, he said, put my name up there. They're like, but he said, put my name. They're probably like, who does this black guy think he is? Yeah. He said, I was creating my brand.
Right. Yeah.
So I wanted my name. I want my name on the tickets. I want my name on the marquee. I want my name everywhere I'm going to be. And he said people were also mad at him for dressing up as a woman. Yeah. He said, but Madea got him where he is today.
Yeah.
So
he said he knew what his lane was. Mm-hmm. He said that all of that outside noise, he tuned it out.
He tuned it right out. And that's so important. Tune out that outside noise. Yep. He also said Now he said, now people have way more than him and not doing half of what he's doing. You know, like, and then he made a great point. Like you have the Eddie Murphys. You know, he's made so many millions. He should have a sound stage. He should have something, you know, to show up besides all them kids he got. That's nothing wrong with the kids, but you know, he's, you know, people were downing him for dressing up as a woman, but where are those people today?
Yeah.
You know, and it is a character that, you know, that he only did that character based off of his mom,
right?
You know, his aunts and everything, because his mother was in an abusive relationship, and so that's what he brought out to his plays. You know, he said, and then so many women wanted to hear that.
Yeah.
So
it was really a great interview. He had a great interview with Chris Rock too. Yeah, Chris Rock's smart guy.
Yeah.
So
get a chance to see it, heart to heart. Watch it. It's really good.
It's on Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them where to find it. It's on Peacock. I don't know if it's on anything else though. It might be on something.
It might be. Like you just Google it.
But it is on. It's definitely on Peacock if you have that. So I'm so glad we had this time together.
Yeah, I gotta get back to the grind and do some more.
Yeah. First Lady, again, I want to remind everybody, come on out to Greater Harvest 541.
Y'all come, all 4 people. I know, understand,
it's fine.
You won't be available, I know, but just watch us and support me. And I know you won't be able to come, but I have to. Oh, brother here giving us assignments.
Yeah, I'm putting them to work. I remember when I was in their position, I wanted the opportunity. So
no, you don't have to give me.
Yeah, they say that, but they need to stay sharp. You never know. So I thank God for each and every one of you, and you guys tuning in. It's been a blessing to be with you tonight.
Thank you.
And listen, climate change is real. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. That this week was the hottest week ever recorded on planet Earth. I'm not making it up. It's the truth. So
you making me out with this hoodie.
I've said I'm gonna represent Niagara Falls, Canada. Oh, Canada. So yeah, I got the hoodie on. I got a reason for that because I don't feel like putting on a shirt.
All right, family.
Bless your hearts. We'll see you. Dr. Stevenson said wear flat shoes tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Listen, she can wear the heels. Just kick them off when you get ready to shout, First Lady. Just kick them off. Thank you, all of you. God bless you. I'm going to ask First Lady, since you're going to be preaching them off, she will pray us out today. Come on.
Yes, if all hearts and minds are clear, let us pray. Father God, in the blessed name of Jesus, we come thanking you for this day. We come thanking you for just loving us the way you do. We come thanking you for all that you do. We ask, Lord God, that you continue to bless us, watch over us, and continue to be with us. Bless those families who are bereaved right now, Lord God. Give them the strength, Lord God, to keep on keeping on. Yes. We also ask that you please bless all of those who are watching, bless their households, and continue to be with them and give them an extra special blessing for tuning in. And we will not fail to give your name the praise, the glory, and the honor that only you deserve. These things we ask in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. God bless you all. To God be the glory.